All right, baby. We are officially live. We are locked and loaded. This is the Locker Room Show, powered by Before You Go Pro. I am your host, Coach T.Wood, and the young man that you see on the screen with me, that is a dear friend of mine. That's somebody that I've been in the trenches with as far as football. That is Q, the guru. What's
What's
going
up? What's
on,
up?
brother?
Man, I can't
All
call it,
right,
man. Ready to
man.
get this thing going, man.
All right. Well, the Locker Room Show, I know that many of you guys who have been with us from the past, you're familiar with the Locker Room Show because we had the podcast. But now we're taking it to a new level, you guys. We're on YouTube. We want you guys to see our faces. We want the comments popping. Anybody hey, I see Rick, what's going on? That is one of our Before You Go Pro fathers. He's got an amazing son, Jacob De Jesus, who is a baller in Cali. So Q, you're gonna be hearing about his son soon. He's
Nice. All right.
a slot wide receiver, man, when he
Okay.
gets
I'll be
loose.
looking out
So
for him.
yeah, man. So let's get into it. The ones that are new to this show, we're covering the trending topics. We're covering what's important to you guys in the football industry. Q knows as much as I do. You guys saw from the promo, college football player in the Big 12 at Kansas, played professionally. So he knows as much as I do. We're going to hit these topics from an educational standpoint, a business standpoint, and then get you guys in and out. So we're starting off, Q, with our first topic. And this one's a big one, man. I mean, every time I look at ESPN, every time I'm looking at the ticker on Fox Sport, there's a new coach that's going somewhere else. That's ditching the players whose home he was in. What's your opinion on the coaching changes? I think we're past 40 now at the Division One level.
I mean, pretty much from the way it looks, man, it's not a whole lot of loyalty, man. These coaches are following the Brinks truck.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it is. I mean, they're showing the world that college football, especially on the D1 level, is business. It's pure business, and these schools are cutting some big checks, big checks.
Yes, a lot more than we making, brother, and that's a good point. So, if I'm a coach, Q, and obviously I have aspirations just like these young men. I got a kid that's going to private school, wife at home. Is it wrong of me to want some upward mobility?
No, it's nothing wrong with that. That's something actually that the players need to understand is this is a business. And there are gonna always be coaching changes. Again, especially we're talking about the D1 level because there's so much money constantly is changing hands. That's gonna happen. So if a coach sees another opportunity, then that's just what it is. I experienced that. You experienced that with Coach Newhouse. I had to deal with that with Coach Mason. In my situation, Coach Mason went from Kansas, had an opportunity to go to Georgia. So I thought it was going to be a Bulldog, and he passed up on Georgia and ended up in Minnesota. So, I mean, that's
Wow.
two changes within a year, so it happens.
Yeah. And we are officially on to our next topic, Q, and we're hitting another big one. This is something that was really talked about in the spring and the summer, and it was the HBCUs starting to get some notoriety. Now, for those that don't know, that's the historical black colleges and the universities. Many players that you might not have even known, the Michael Strahans, the Jerry Rices, have come out of the
Walter
HBCU. So
Payton. Yeah.
the Walter Payton. So talk to me, Q. HBCUs versus Power Five. If I'm a young recruit, should I even pay attention to an HBCU?
I mean, well, you should. I mean, let's be honest with you here. I mean, going to school to get your education, but these 4 and 5-star kids, they want the shot at the league. If we really want to be honest with ourselves, like they want the shot at the
Good point.
league. And when you
Good point.
have Coach Prime, and when you have Eddie George as your head coach, you're gonna have that opportunity. So the issue with the historically black colleges is about the alumni. I mean, like you got like Sean Combs, Puffy went to Howard. Well, how much money are they really giving back to their university in order for these athletic programs to grow? So
Good point.
it's always going to come down to finance.
Good point. Now, if you were a father of a young recruit and Deion Sanders is coming in your home and Nick Saban's coming in your home, obviously it's not apples to apples. Is there any little intangible things you might think of to help your son make that decision?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you're gonna listen definitely to what's said, but you have just as much opportunity to go, from a Jackson State or Tennessee State, you
Yeah,
know, than you do Alabama. It's just that it's about the exposure. That's what's not, the equal playing field.
yeah.
I was saying a while ago, I had the opportunity to talk with Eddie Robinson. My sophomore
Yeah.
year when we were on the road against Notre Dame at the first annual Eddie Robinson Kickoff Classic. And he used
Legend.
to tell me all the time, I heard Coach Robinson telling one of the coaches a story where when he was at Grambling, Bear Bryant didn't even want to scrimmage Grambling, wanted no smoke, none. You understand? So it's always going to be dogs in historically black colleges, and I believe it's more to come as long as that we get more checks there.
There you go. There you go. And we're on to our next topic. If you guys are with us for the first time, we hit it hard, we hit it fast. Key topic. So this one, Q, actually caught my attention yesterday. And I was surprised looking for news on college football. And these college football programs, man, they're starting to team up with sports books where, there's money on the line and the books they want to have their signage in the stadium. They want to be around the sports. So what's your opinion on that? I needed the guru's opinion on the sports books getting closer to the field.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, obviously, you got UNLV because they're right there. So I mean, that's just
Good
gonna be
point.
what it
Good
is.
point. Makes sense.
But you got LSU. You have a lot of schools that have participated with these sports book companies that you don't know. You just got to do your research. Um, I'm not opposed to it because I'm looking at it now like, why should it just be the university that makes money? If I'm part of the student body and I'm not an athlete and I'm working my way through college, or my parents are having to foot the bill, and I want to spend a couple bucks on my team if I'm at Ohio State and bet on them, well, that money I make may pay for my books for the semester. So absolutely, I should have that opportunity.
Okay, so do you think that there could be some mixed signals or some athletes that are maybe like in the past? I know that you went to Kansas and Colorado, where I went. They had somebody come talk to us about the athletes gambling. What's your opinion on that? Or
Right
at
now, I
least,
believe. No,
yeah,
my fault. Because I was just saying you. I believe that you need to put some type of parameters on it where you
okay,
can't bet on
good point.
yourself. One
Good
of
point.
those things, because then you get into kids getting paid and rigging games, and now you're taking the purity out of the game.
Good point.
So I can understand where you're going with that, but no, just having an opportunity in regards like to maybe like the student body or any other fans. Oh, absolutely. It needs to be wide open. The university's making them money just for you strapping it up anyway. You show up
There
and they
you
get
go.
paid.
All right, we're on to our next topic, and that is Texas and OU. Speaking of the money's in the SEC right now. The television contracts, the NIL deals that these kids are signing, it's in the SEC. So Texas and Oklahoma pack their bags. What's your opinion on either school getting to a championship? We just saw Georgia and Alabama. Those boys look like they're going to be around for a while, Q. What's your opinion on Texas or OU being able to get a championship?
Well,
SEC.
coach, it's the same thing we were saying about, how can you breathe life back into the Pac-12? It's
Yeah.
about, and Lincoln Riley will, understands that. What do we say? It's about keeping kids home. Now,
Yeah.
coach, we were just discussing earlier that article, $50,000 to UT's lineman.
Wow.
Look. If you're listening to this podcast, and I'm a 4 or 5 star running back or a quarterback, and my linemen are getting paid 50 bands to protect me. At running back, I'm
You
getting
probably
five,
going to have
six
some good
yards a
linemen.
pop all right,
Yeah.
all night,
You
all
probably going to
day.
have some good. Yeah.
So it's gonna come down again. who's cutting checks and who can keep the 4 and 5 star kids home. It doesn't matter the conference. It's just that the SEC has been cutting the bigger checks. Texas and OU cut checks, they won't have a problem and they'll have their shot to get there too quickly.
Good point. Good point. And both of those schools, big time fan bases, you guys, and also big time alum dollars and
Yep.
donor dollars. So
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely coming soon. An OU Texas championship in the SEC. So we are on to our next topic. Our next topic, and this is something that I know we talked about before, Q, offline, and it's the old school coaching. Me and you come from a different era. It is what it is. We still love football today, but it's different. You know, we came from an era, teammate gets knocked out in practice, you move the drill down, you know.
Keep it
So,
rolling.
do you think those old school coaches, those Bobby Bowdens, those you talked about a Coach Robinson, you know, the Paternos, could they survive with today's kid, the millennial?
I know they couldn't. I know they couldn't. And I'll give you a great example. Even with my alma mater, okay?
Yeah,
You have to understand that Kansas at their highest rank in 2007, 2008, where with Akiba, Talib, and those guys,
yeah,
were ranked two. Mizzou with Chase Daniel at one point in time, they were ranked 1 and 2 in the country. Okay,
yeah.
Coach Mangino was a great coach, brought that program to its absolute all-time high. And then the
Yeah.
next year, you fire him because he was too hard on a player. And I'm not gonna get into the story, but the point is that he was an old school hard-nosed coach, and the kid that he punished and the kid's parents, ended up, coming at the athletic director in the university and ultimately leading to him being fired was because he was hard-nosed. And that was even in 2008,
Wow.
2009. So you're talking about 2021. These kids are extremely gifted. But as far as old school coaching, I don't see a Lou Holtz or a Bobby Bowden, like you said, being able to tolerate the arrogance and the attitudes. They would love be able to do wonders, with the talent, Coach Paterno and those guys. But the attitude and the toughness, that's what's missing out the game now. You'll see all the
Well,
great
and
plays,
then
but the
also now
toughness is not there.
you have the NIL component, you know, where
Right.
some of these young men are going to make more than the coach coaching them, especially the assistant, you know.
Yep.
So, I mean, the Alabama quarterback's probably making more than the coordinator. Pretty close. It's going to be close after he wins the Heisman. So, very, very interesting topic. Can the old school coach do his thing today? And thank you for those joining us. I know many more will also see the recording of this. This is the Locker Room Show. We're bringing it to you new. We're bringing you the topics that you guys care about. So we are on, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, to the lightning round. And with the lightning round, that is where it's first thing that comes to Q the guru's mind. So hopefully it's PG. Hopefully you guys can gain some value. You might get a laugh. But if you're joining us for the first time, Q the guru has 60 seconds, y'all. 60 seconds to give us what he thinks of first when we give him a keyword phrase. So it's going to be something that's pertaining to the football industry, and he has to tell us what he thinks of first, whether that's just one word or a phrase. And it has to be in line with what we want to hear. So let me get my stopwatch ready. Now, the record, you guys, is 6. The record is 6. Q got 6. We're going to be bringing in some guests, some people from the industry. We're going to put them through the lightning round too. And at the end of this, somebody's going to get a prize, maybe a hotel stay on the Locker Room Show. But Q, you got 6, brother. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's rock out. What
All
you
right.
got,
So
coach?
let
What
me
you got?
get my stopwatch ready. 1 second, brother. All right. We are on and popping. Go, Junior Seau.
One of the greatest linebackers of all time, and was the heart of that franchise.
The school Q would go to if he was coming out today.
LSU. That's always going to be a DB factory. They're at Ohio State DB factories, hands down.
Good one, good one. Bobby Bowden,
One of the greatest college coaches ever, and Florida State needs to find somebody up to par to that level.
Lawrence Phillips,
One of the greatest talents of all time, and goes to show that you need to make sure that as a player, as a coach rather, that your mentals of your players are on point off the field.
48 seconds. The Big House in Michigan,
One of the toughest places ever to play. They were out of conference, had a lot of friends in Big Ten, and a tough place to win, especially in the element.
Time. There he goes. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 on that one. So one below your record, but definitely a good one, man. And those were some big ones right there. The Bobby Bowden was good. The Sayal, Lawrence Phillips.
Lawrence
Rest in
Phillips,
peace.
yeah, that was a good one. I heard that name in a long time, boy. That for you youngins, hey, Google him. Whew, he's a monster.
There you go. There you go. So we are on, you guys, to our final segment. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying the show. We're hitting this every Thursday. So keep on coming back. Tell your friends. This is football only. Locker room. We're going to keep it real with you guys. So share, subscribe, like, and we need the algorithms to pick us up so we can take this show to the top. So audience Q&A, and I see that we have some guests with us. So if you guys do have a question, now's your time. Keep in mind, Q and I also, we done this before. This is called the Locker Room Show for a reason. We've been in many locker rooms, you guys. And, as far as getting after this industry, getting after this business, there's not too many more people that can give you the advice and the heartfelt advice that we plan to give you guys. So if you do have questions, pop them in the chat. If you want to get to us after the show or you're checking out the recording, info@beforeyougopro.com. You can email us those questions and we'll get to it on the next show. But today we are going to take one, Q. I'm going to shoot it to you, knock it out, brother. But today we're going to take one from our athletes, the Before You Go Pro athletes. And I actually have a question here from a young man. And he's wondering, Q, what was the most difficult transition for you going from St. Louis to Lawrence, Kansas, and being a Kansas Jayhawk? Was it something on the field? Was it something off the field? Can you think back? What was the biggest transition between those two worlds for you?
You know what? For a lot of schools, and their location is going from a metropolitan city to, a town where the college is the town, but just the population difference. That's one of the main things that really is making an adjustment. You know,
Yeah.
And for some kids too, not for myself so much, but it's some, just being away from their parents, is tough too. So that's a tough transition. That's why freshman year is so critical.
Freshman year is critical, you guys, and it's something that you can't really be ready for until you go through it. People give you tips, people give you advice, take it, hold on to it, but it's something that you got to tough out and grit out. So, Q, great job tonight, man. And hey, I see Rick came with us. I see Marco and Ernest. I know we had some other people. I know many of you guys will watch this later on. So thank you for joining us in the locker room. We'll be back next week. This is Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hit us with those questions too. But join us, subscribe, like. Q, anything before we get out, brother?
No, we good to go. Like I said, you guys log on, check us out next week, same time, same channel.
Yes, indeed. All right. We'll see y'all at the top. Have a good one.